There is a list, ancient, documented across traditions older than any institution that exists today. And on that list are souls carrying a specific mark, not a physical one, a frequency signature, an internal configuration that was set before they arrived here, before they had a name, before they learned to speak the language of a world that was never quite designed to receive them. You have felt this your entire life, not as pride, not as arrogance, as a quiet, persistent, sometimes exhausting sense that the room you are standing in is not quite the room you came from, that the conversations you are required to participate in are missing an entire dimension that only you can perceive, that the people who love you most still cannot see all of you, no matter how long or how hard they try. There are 9 signs, and the one that most people overlook, sign number 4, is the one that has done the most damage because it masquerades as something broken. But it is not broken, it is built. If you already feel something shifting just from these first words, type 777 in the comments. Because what is happening in you right now is not coincidence. Nothing about how this transmission found you was accidental. Nothing about your life has ever been accidental. Before we go further, you must understand something about the nature of a chosen soul that most people get completely wrong. Being chosen is not a reward. It is not a status. It is not something you earned by being good enough, or spiritual enough, or patient enough. You did not apply for this assignment and receive an acceptance letter based on your qualifications. You were selected for a specific task that required a specific architecture of soul. The way a contractor selects a beam engineered to a specific load capacity for a specific purpose. You were built to carry something this world has been trying to put down for a long time. And because of what you carry, your life has looked like a series of trials that seem disproportionate to any visible crime. The relationships that should have been safe were weaponized against you. The seasons that should have been peaceful were invaded. The gifts you were born with were used by others to identify your weakness and press directly into it. This was not random. It was not karma in the punitive sense that most people misunderstand. It was confirmation. Every force that came against you was a spiritual system trying to stop something it already knew you were capable of doing. The 9 signs are not a quiz. They are a mirror. You are about to see yourself in something that was always already true. And that recognition, quiet, sure, and slightly painful, is itself the confirmation you have been waiting for. You have always known this, even when you had no words for it. The knowing was never accidental. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. You did not arrive here by accident. The assignment was always real, even when it had no name. Nothing about what you carry was ever random. The preparation was always pointing toward this. The first sign is the one you have carried the longest. You have always felt like a visitor in a world that did not remember extending the invitation, not unhappy in the dramatic sense, not incapable of connection or joy. Simply present in an environment you can navigate, but that was never fully calibrated to your frequency. You learned to manage this distance, to appear at home in rooms where you have never quite landed. That is not dysfunction. That is a soul operating at a bandwidth the surrounding system cannot fully process. The second sign is the opposition. You have attracted a specific, precise kind of resistance your entire life. Not random bad luck, not unfortunate patterns. Opposition that seems to target exactly what matters most to you: your peace, your purpose, your capacity to trust. This is not because you are unlucky. It is because you are worth stopping. Forces do not mobilize against targets that pose no threat. The third sign is the knowing, the information that arrives before the evidence, the sense of what is coming before it has any reason to appear. The intuition that has been proven right so many times, you have stopped being surprised by it, but have never stopped being slightly unsettled by it, because you do not fully know where it comes from. The fourth sign is the one most people miss, because it looks like damage. It is the exhaustion, not physical, not the kind that sleep addresses. The specific, bone-level depletion of a soul that is transmitting in an environment that was not designed to receive its signal. You have spent your entire life converting your frequency for a world that runs on a lower bandwidth. That conversion costs something. Every single day. The fifth sign is the childhood that did not quite fit. You asked the questions adults went quiet around. You felt the grief in rooms before you had words for it. You looked at the adults around you and felt with a strange precision that they were managing something they would never say out loud. The sixth sign is the sensitivity that was trained out of you, or that people tried to train out of you. The attunement to emotional weather in rooms. The grief from across a crowd for someone you have never met. The way the energy of a place settles into your body and takes time to clear. The seventh sign is the calling that has no name. The sense of something you came here to do that has not yet been fully revealed to you, but that you have felt pulling at you, sometimes as hope, sometimes as urgency, sometimes as the quiet, specific ache of not yet having stepped into it. The eighth sign is the season of stripping, the period or periods, when everything that was not essential was taken, not gently. Relationships, structures, identities. What felt like destruction was actually preparation. You were being made portable for what was coming. The ninth sign is the one that is happening now. The acceleration. Let us stop for a moment and look at what your actual daily life has looked like. You wake up tired from sleep that should have been enough. You move through the morning carrying weight that has no obvious source. You interact with people who care about you and still feel the specific loneliness of not being fully received. Not because they are failing you, but because the dimension they cannot see in you is the heaviest one. You watch the world arrange itself around things that feel to you almost desperately trivial. You watch people pour enormous energy into concerns that seem, from where you are standing, like arrangements on a deck that is already moving. And you wonder sometimes if your sense of proportion is broken, or if theirs is, or if the answer is somewhere neither of you can currently see. You have spent years wondering if the intensity of what you feel is a flaw in your design. You have tried to reduce it, to fit it into smaller containers, to make yourself more compatible with environments that could not contain you without asking you to leak. You have attracted people into your life who needed something from you they could not name. You gave it without being asked, and it cost you something they never acknowledged or perhaps never saw. And underneath all of it, underneath the exhaustion and the isolation and the years of carrying something this world could not quite identify, there has been a knowing, quiet, persistent, slightly maddening in its vagueness. The knowing that none of this was random, that the difficulty was precision, that the assignment was real even when the assignment had no name. What you are feeling right now reading this is not hope, it is recognition. And recognition for a chosen soul lands differently than anything else. You have always known this, even when you had no words for it. The knowing was never accidental. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation. You did not arrive here by accident. The assignment was always real, even when it had no name. It is time to stop apologizing for the architecture of your soul, not to other people. Most of them have not asked for an apology, to yourself. The apology you have been running silently for years, for feeling too much, knowing too much, caring in ways that cost you more than anyone around you understood. That apology is over. You were not designed for the room most people live in. You were designed for a room that is still being built. And the work of 2026, for a soul carrying the configuration you carry, is not to finally fit in. It is to stop pretending that fitting in was ever the point. The people who are meant to walk with you in the next season of your life will not require you to be smaller. They will recognize your frequency before you have finished introducing yourself. They will not need you to translate. They will already be speaking the same language. What you must begin to do now is protect your energy with the same seriousness with which the assignment was given, because you cannot transmit clearly while constantly converting. You cannot anchor the frequency you carry while simultaneously managing the expectations of environments that cannot hold it. Begin with a single decision, today, not a ritual, not a commitment to a system, a decision to let what is leaving, leave, to let what is arriving, arrive, to stop standing in the doorway between the life you built for survival and the life you were actually commissioned to live. You were built for this season, not for comfort in it, for it. That is different. That is the choosing. You have always known this, even when you had no words for it. There is a reason this transmission found you in this specific moment. Not the moment you wished for, not the moment you planned. This one, with its specific weight and its specific gaps and its specific sense of something that has not yet arrived but is very close. The 9 signs are not a list of things you earned. They are a description of what was already true before you had language for it, and the recognition you feel right now. That slight shift somewhere deep that is not quite emotion and not quite thought is itself the confirmation. You are not at the beginning of this. You are deep inside something that started long before this video and will extend long after it, but this moment, this specific transmission at this specific time was a marker, a reminder, a signal that the assignment is real, the timing is precise, and the preparation you have been living through was never wasted. If these 9 signs named something true in you, type 777 below. Let the next chosen soul who finds this know that they are not imagining it, that the knowing is real, that the assignment is real, and that the season of revealing has already begun. You have always known this, even when you had no words for it. The knowing was never accidental. This is not coincidence. This is confirmation.